It's 2:07 a.m. You're awake again, not because of a loud noise or a bad dream, just awake. You've already adjusted the thermostat, you've tried deep breathing, you even turned over the pillow for the cooler side. Still, your mind is spinning and sleep is nowhere in sight. If you're over 60, this probably happens more often than you'd like to admit. And it's not just annoying, it's exhausting. You wake up tired, feel off all day, and then dread going to bed because you know the cycle might repeat. Here's the truth, this isn't your fault and you're not alone. Sleep changes with age, not because you've done something wrong, but because your body starts to handle stress, hormones, and even blood sugar in a new way. That means falling asleep and staying asleep gets harder even if you do everything right. Now, what if something as simple as cinnamon could help? Yes, cinnamon, that warm, familiar spice sitting in your kitchen cabinet. It turns out, when used the right way, cinnamon can help calm the nervous system, support steady blood sugar through the night, and send the brain signals that it's safe to rest. Not a drug, not a miracle, just a gentle nudge to help your body do what it already knows how to do, sleep deeply and naturally. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to use cinnamon at night so your body can finally get the rest it's been missing. Part 1. Your sleep didn't disappear, it just needs a gentle signal. Most people don't talk about it, but you know exactly what it feels like. You lie in bed tired but not sleepy. You've done your routine, brushed your teeth, turned off the TV early, maybe even read a few pages of a book. You're doing everything right, yet sleep just doesn't come, or it does but only for a few hours. Then you're awake again, alert at 1 a.m. or 3 a.m, no noise, no stress, just your body saying, "I'm up." And you lie there not sure why. It's easy to assume this is just part of getting older. That's just how it is after 60, people say with a shrug. But what if that's not entirely true? What if your body still wants to sleep, still knows how, but just isn't getting the right signal anymore? Because the truth is, your ability to sleep deeply hasn't disappeared. It's just been drowned out by stress hormones, by shifting blood sugar, by a nervous system that's stuck in on mode when it should be resting. You're not broken, you're just not being supported the way your body now needs to be. When we were younger, sleep came more naturally. The body produced melatonin at the right time, kept blood sugar steady overnight, and our days were often physically active enough to make rest feel like a natural response. But with age, things change. Melatonin levels decline. The nervous system becomes more reactive. Even small blood sugar drops can wake us in the night. And let's be honest, life doesn't slow down just because we've hit a certain age. We're still dealing with worry, responsibilities, and unexpected changes. All of that impacts sleep, even if we don't always feel stressed in the moment. What most people don't realize is that sleep isn't just about shutting off the mind. It's about giving the body permission to rest. That permission often comes from subtle biological signals, hormones, temperature changes, shifts in blood pressure, and the rhythm of light and dark. But over time, those signals get quieter. The brain doesn't hear the message as clearly. It's time to rest now, you're safe, you can let go. That's why we need to reintroduce those signals gently, not with medication that forces sleep, but with tools that work with the body's natural design. This is where cinnamon becomes so interesting. Cinnamon isn't just a warm, comforting spice. It interacts directly with many of the systems that influence sleep. For starters, cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar, a common but silent culprit of nighttime wake-ups. When your blood sugar dips too low during the night, the body responds by releasing adrenaline and cortisol, two hormones that raise blood sugar but also trigger alertness. You may not even know this is happening, but if you often wake up at the same early hour for no clear reason, this could be part of it. By adding cinnamon to your evening routine, whether in food, drink, or aroma, you help the body maintain more stable blood sugar levels, reducing the likelihood of those 2 a.m. wake-ups. But cinnamon does more than that. It's also been shown to calm the nervous system. Compounds in cinnamon like cinnamaldehyde and polyphenols have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that protect brain cells, reduce oxidative stress, and support neurotransmitters that promote rest. That includes serotonin, the feel-good hormone that also serves as a building block for melatonin, the body's main sleep signal. So in a very real way, cinnamon becomes a gentle signal, a way of telling the body, you're okay, you can rest now. And what's powerful about this is how familiar and accessible that signal is. It doesn't require a prescription. It's not something artificial or foreign to your body. It's something warm, natural, and already present in your life. You've smelled it before, you've tasted it, you associate it with comfort, calm, and warmth. That alone creates a subtle shift, an emotional and sensory cue that helps the body step down from alert mode. And let's be honest, the goal isn't just to fall asleep, it's to feel restored, to wake up in the morning and not immediately need 2 cups of coffee just to feel human, to move through your day with a clearer mind and a lighter spirit. That kind of sleep doesn't happen by force. It happens when your body feels supported, safe, and in rhythm with itself. Of course, cinnamon isn't a magic solution. Nothing is. But it's one of those rare tools that's simple, natural, and backed by both tradition and science. It's been used for centuries in cultures around the world to support digestion, circulation, and yes, calm. Now we're learning just how helpful it can be for modern sleep problems, especially as we age. In the rest of this video, I'll walk you through how to use cinnamon in ways that are safe, gentle, and easy to add to your routine. You won't need to change your lifestyle. You won't need to give up coffee or buy expensive supplements. You'll just be adding something small but meaningful into your evenings. And sometimes that's all the body needs. A little signal, a quiet cue, a reminder that you're safe, you're supported, and yes, it really is time to sleep. Part 2. One small nighttime ritual that feels like an embrace. There's something powerful about the small things we do at night. The way we dim the lights, put on soft clothes, maybe wash our face or warm a cup of tea. These aren't just habits, they're signals. They tell the body, it's okay now, the day is over, you can let go. But as we get older, those signals need to be stronger, more intentional. Our bodies aren't as quick to relax. Our minds aren't as quick to slow down. That's why creating a simple, soothing nighttime ritual, just one small act that feels grounding and calm, can make all the difference in how you fall asleep. One of the most effective, comforting, and truly gentle ways to do this is with cinnamon. Not in capsule form, not in supplements. Just a warm drink with real cinnamon prepared slowly and taken like a quiet moment of self-care. When done right, it doesn't feel like medicine. It feels like being wrapped in something warm and familiar, something that reminds your body without saying a word that you are safe to rest. Start with a cup of warm nut milk, almond, oat, cashew, whatever works for your digestion. Add half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, not the common cassia type, but the safer, lower coumarin variety that's better for regular use. Stir gently while heating, until the aroma starts to rise and fill the kitchen. Don't rush this part. The scent is as healing as the drink itself. Once warm, pour it into your favorite cup, not the one you drink coffee from in the morning, the one that feels like evening. Sit somewhere quiet, no phone, no news, maybe just a lamp on low or soft instrumental music if you'd like. This isn't about the drink itself, it's about the experience, the moment of quiet, the warmth moving through your body, the way your breath slows as you sip. This is your signal, your personal good night. Cinnamon plays its part in this beautifully. As you drink, it helps stabilize blood sugar, calm digestion, and support serotonin production, all of which directly affect how easily you fall asleep and how deeply you stay asleep. And because cinnamon works with your natural systems, not against them, you don't wake up groggy. You don't have the fog that often comes with sleep aids. You just sleep. Naturally, fully, gently. This ritual isn't complicated. It's not trendy. It doesn't require a new gadget or an app. But it works because it brings you back to something we've lost in modern life, stillness before sleep. Not collapsing from exhaustion, not scrolling until your eyes hurt, just choosing to wind down consciously, kindly. There's also something deeply personal about this kind of ritual. When you do it night after night, your body begins to associate the taste and scent of cinnamon, the warmth of the cup, and the silence of the moment with rest. It becomes muscle memory, emotional memory. Like the way a lullaby soothes a child, not because of the words, but because of the rhythm. This is adult lullaby, quiet, simple, reassuring, and no one can take it from you. In a world that often tells us to push through, to stay productive, to keep going no matter how tired we are, this small act becomes a form of resistance, a way of saying, I choose to rest. That message matters more than ever as we age, because rest isn't just about sleep. It's about repair, it's about healing. It's about giving our body and mind what they actually need, not just what the clock says it's time for. This cinnamon ritual takes less than 10 minutes, but its effects ripple into your night and your next day. Better sleep means clearer thinking, more balanced emotions, steadier energy. It means waking up with just a little more patience, a little more clarity, a little more hope. And if you're someone who's struggled with sleep for years, who has tried all the pills, all the podcasts, all the tips, this might be the one thing that finally feels human again. Not clinical, not forced, just peaceful. Let it be your own. You can adjust it. Maybe you add a pinch of nutmeg, maybe a drop of vanilla, maybe a teaspoon of raw honey if you like a touch of sweetness. But always keep the cinnamon, always keep the intention. This isn't about chasing perfect sleep. It's about creating the kind of evening your body can trust. One that ends with warmth, calm, and a quiet message. You've done enough today, now let go. Try it tonight, not as a fix, not as a trick, just as a gift to yourself. And if it works, if you feel yourself soften, drift, and wake up just a little more rested, then you'll know it wasn't the cinnamon alone. It was the ritual, the moment, the message. That's what your body's been waiting for all along. Part 3. When a scent is all your body needs to relax. Sometimes it's not what you eat or drink before bed that makes the difference, it's what you breathe in. One simple scent at just the right time can ease tension in the body faster than words, faster than thought. If you've ever taken a deep breath and felt your shoulders drop without meaning to, you already know this. The body responds to aroma in powerful, immediate ways, especially when that aroma is tied to warmth, safety, and rest. That's what makes cinnamon such a quiet but powerful ally in your nighttime routine. We often think of cinnamon as a spice, something to taste. But its scent alone holds calming power, especially when you allow it to fill your bedroom like a whisper, not a wave. The reason this works isn't mystical, it's biological. When you inhale certain natural scents, molecules travel through your nose and into your brain's limbic system, the area responsible for processing emotions and memories. It's the same reason why the smell of cookies can make you feel like a kid again, or a whiff of a loved one's cologne can bring them back in an instant. Cinnamon works through the same doorway, only instead of memory, it gently opens the door to sleep. At night, your nervous system needs permission to downshift. Most of the day, it's running in high gear, managing movement, decisions, emotions, and everything in between. When bedtime comes, your brain needs cues that it's okay to slow down. Cinnamon provides one of those cues. Its warm, earthy aroma has been shown to reduce cortisol levels, lower blood pressure slightly, and activate relaxation responses. Unlike medications that override your system, this is your system responding naturally to a subtle signal. You're safe, you can rest. The best way to deliver this signal is through a diffuser or essential oil lamp, something simple, something quiet. Add 3 to 5 drops of cinnamon essential oil to a bit of water in your diffuser. If you'd like, you can blend it with lavender for an added layer of calm or sweet orange for a soft, uplifting note. Turn the diffuser on about 20 minutes before you plan to lie down. Don't wait until you're already in bed. Let the scent greet you as you enter the room. Let it create a space that feels different from the rest of the day. A space that tells your body, this is where we rest now. You don't need to fill the whole room with strong scent. In fact, too much can overstimulate rather than relax. What you're aiming for is something barely there and undercurrent, just enough to slow your breathing, just enough to make you pause, and once the message is received, you can turn it off. There's no need to let it run all night. The purpose isn't to create a scented room, it's to create a moment. One small moment where your nervous system hears the cue it's been waiting for. If you're someone who struggles with racing thoughts, this can be especially helpful. You might not be able to talk yourself into sleep, but your body can breathe its way there. Cinnamon scent works like background music, subtle, steady, and powerful in the way it shapes the space around you. It doesn't demand anything of you, it just offers presence, and that's often all it takes. Some people ask, does scent really make that much of a difference? And the answer is, it does when your body learns to associate it with rest. This is called a conditioned response. The more you use cinnamon in your evening routine, in tea and milk, in the air, the more your body starts to link it with winding down. Over time, the smell becomes a shortcut. One breath and your system starts to soften. It's like a lullaby your nose remembers. It's also worth noting that scent-based rituals are especially meaningful for people who live alone. In silence, the smallest details matter. The feel of the air, the glow of a lamp, the faint scent rising and falling as you breathe. These are the things that shape a night, and when chosen with care, they can shift your sleep from something you fight into something you welcome. Cinnamon scent is not a cure, but it is a companion. And when you're struggling to rest, having something gentle beside you, something that asks nothing of you, can be deeply healing. You don't need to believe in essential oils to benefit from this. You just need to be open to the idea that your body responds to sensory input, and that calming those inputs can help you relax. If cinnamon doesn't appeal to you on its own, try blending it with something softer. Experiment until you find the combination that makes you feel like exhaling. and then let that blend become part of your nightly rhythm. Aromatherapy doesn't require you to change your whole life. It doesn't ask you to be perfect or mindful or any of the other things we're often told we need to be. All it asks is that you show up, that you give yourself a few minutes of stillness, a few breaths of calm, a few seconds of scent, and in return it offers something many of us have been missing: rest without effort. So tonight, when the house quiets down and the lights go low, let your room become a space of softness, not just dark but calm, not just quiet but gentle. Let the scent of cinnamon meet you at the door, wrap around your shoulders like a warm blanket, and remind your body that it is okay to let go. Because sometimes sleep doesn't need to be earned, it just needs to be invited. Part 4: A healing dinner to help your blood sugar stay calm. There's a common pattern many people don't notice until they live it night after night. You eat dinner, you clean up, you go to bed on time, you feel tired, even hopeful. Then sometime between 1 and 3 a.m. your eyes open, you're awake. Again, no sound, no noise, no nightmare, just alert, restless, and you don't know why. What most people never realize is that one of the biggest culprits behind this middle-of-the-night wakefulness isn't stress or age or hormones. It's blood sugar, more specifically blood sugar that drops too low while you're sleeping. Even if you don't have diabetes or prediabetes, your blood sugar still fluctuates throughout the night. And after age 60, those fluctuations tend to become more pronounced. Our metabolism changes. We process food differently, and if your last meal of the day isn't designed to support your body through the long hours of sleep, it can quietly undermine everything else you're doing to rest. Your brain senses that drop. It thinks something's wrong, and before you even open your eyes, stress hormones are released to bring your levels back up. That's what wakes you. That's why you're suddenly restless and wired at a time when your body should be at its most calm. The good news is this is something you can gently fix, not with pills, not with strict diets, just with intention, just by designing your evening meal to be less about fullness and more about stability. We call it a healing dinner not because it's fancy or restrictive, but because it honors the simple truth that food is not just fuel. It's information. It tells your body how to feel, how to heal, and yes, how to sleep. So what does a healing dinner look like for better sleep and blood sugar balance? First, it's not too big. Overeating can spike your blood sugar, then crash it a few hours later, waking you right when you should be deep in sleep. On the other hand, skipping dinner or eating too little can leave you hungry at a cellular level, triggering similar stress responses. The goal is a meal that's gentle on digestion, rich in fiber, has some healthy fat and protein, and yes, a dash of cinnamon to support blood sugar regulation naturally. Think warm, whole, simple. A small bowl of oatmeal with chia seeds, sliced banana, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. A piece of roasted sweet potato drizzled with almond butter and cinnamon. A warm baked apple with walnuts and a touch of honey and spice. These aren't sleep foods. They're steadying foods. They don't just sit in your stomach. They send calming signals to your nervous system and help your body maintain equilibrium while you rest. Let's say you have dinner around 6 p.m. That's great, but by 9 or 10 p.m. your body might be needing a gentle top-up, a small bite to keep things steady overnight. This isn't about snacking mindlessly. It's about offering your body one last reassurance before it enters repair mode. That final act of care matters more than most people realize, because sleep is not just about shutting down. It's a time when your body does its deepest healing, regenerating cells, balancing hormones, even flushing toxins from the brain. That work requires energy, and stable blood sugar is part of how that energy stays available. Cinnamon plays a quiet but important role here. It helps slow the digestion of carbohydrates, reduces insulin resistance, and supports smoother metabolic rhythm through the night. That means fewer dips, fewer surges, fewer wake-ups, and more uninterrupted restorative sleep. The kind where you wake up and actually feel like you slept. You don't have to overhaul your diet to make this work. You don't need to follow a sleep protocol or buy special food. Just rethink the purpose of your last meal. Ask yourself, will this meal help me feel steady? Will it help my body feel calm, not just full? Will it help me sleep? And if the answer is no, adjust. Replace the slice of white bread with roasted root vegetables. Trade the heavy dessert for cinnamon-spiced fruit. Skip the late-night salty snacks and choose something warm and soft. These aren't rules, they're invitations, gentle ways to reconnect with what your body actually needs to rest. Because in a culture where dinner is often rushed, distracted, or skipped altogether, choosing to make your evening meal intentional becomes an act of self-respect. It says, I value my rest enough to prepare for it. I trust that what I eat tonight will shape how I feel tomorrow. So as you head into your evening, think of dinner not just as the end of the day, but as the beginning of your sleep. And remember, sometimes the most healing thing you can do isn't something dramatic. It's something quiet, a warm plate, a pinch of cinnamon, a choice to give your body one last gift before you ask it to rest. Sleep begins earlier than you think. Not when your head hits the pillow, but when you decide to nourish yourself in a way that says, I care how I feel tomorrow. That's what a healing dinner does, and that's why it matters. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. It means you're not just looking for another tip or quick fix. You're here because you truly want to understand what your body is asking for and how to give it the care it deserves. What we've explored together isn't about one magic ingredient, it's about reconnecting with the rhythms your body once followed naturally. Cinnamon in all its forms, warm drinks, soft aromas, gentle flavors, is simply a messenger, a tool. It reminds your nervous system to soften. It supports your blood sugar so it doesn't wake you up in the middle of the night. It helps signal the brain that the day is done and rest is safe. We talked about how your sleep hasn't disappeared, it's just waiting for the right cues. About how a simple nighttime drink can feel like an embrace, about the way scent can lower your shoulders before you even realize they were tight, and how your dinner, when chosen with care, becomes more than a meal, it becomes the beginning of your healing. Everything we've covered is rooted in how the body actually works. Real biology, real nervous system responses, real hormone patterns, but more than that, it's rooted in the belief that sleep should never feel like a battle, especially not at this stage of life. You've earned your rest, and your body, though older, is still wise, still capable, still listening. So let these small rituals be your way back, not through force, but through trust. Trust that your body wants to heal, trust that you're allowed to slow down, trust that even something as ordinary as cinnamon can carry extraordinary power when used with intention. I hope tonight feels different. And if it doesn't, I hope tomorrow you try again, because this is not about perfection. It's about consistency, kindness, and giving yourself permission to find peace in your own time, in your own way. Thank you for spending this time with me. I see your effort, I respect your journey, and I truly hope these simple ideas bring you the rest you've been missing. Sleep well, friend, you deserve it.